Welcome to another episode of Undisputed Spit. I'm your host, Romello Skuggs. We have two very special guests. One, my man, Antoine Williams. He's a longtime subscriber to Undisputed Spit and a boxing fan just like myself. And we got my brother, Walter Stringer from Goats and Rings. This man knows his boxing like he knows his football. So, how y'all guys doing, man?
I'm shocked. I'm gonna say this, man. I love being right, but I don't mind being wrong when I'm wrong with an underdog. So I'm just shocked, man. I'm shocked. I'm happy for the boy though, but I'm shocked.
How was your guys' weekend?
It was good. It was good. I'm same thing. I'm just shocked. I'm shocked.
All right, let's get into it. Okay. What y'all guys shocked about? Canelo Alvarez. He just suffered a loss against Dmitry Bivol. That was his second loss. He hasn't lost in 9 years. His last loss was against Floyd Mayweather. I'm gonna start with you, Walt, because he's the most shocked. So, Walt, kick it off. What you think, man? What you think?
First off, I think looking at that fight from Canelo's point of view, I think that in that division there may be bigger, stronger fighters he could have fought that he may have gotten away with his style of fighting with. Bivol wasn't that guy. Bivol was taller. He was stronger. He had the reach advantage. He utilized that jab like crazy. And there wasn't too much he could. And then on top of everything, he boxed. And I think that's what really put him over the top against Canelo, because he could have went in there. And I think, and I'm going to say this, and I understand we're not talking about this fighter, but one fighter I kept thinking about the entire night, well, during that fight, watching Bivol was, why can't Luke Campbell be more like this?
Interesting.
And I say it because when you watch Luke Campbell, it's like Luke has that same style, but it's like Luke just lacks the killer instinct, like he really doesn't want to get in there and mix it up with you. And I say that for months after that fight. I felt that he had the best chance of anybody else that did fight Lomachenko of stopping Lomachenko if he stayed on top of Lomachenko, but he was more preoccupied with not getting hit so much, limiting the flurries, and getting his spot shots in, pretty much. But like I said, Bivol, he was the bigger, stronger fighter. He fought like the bigger, stronger fighter. And I think after the 9th round, it was evident that Canelo's arms was dead. I mean, you can see his arms was dead. And by the 11th round, it's like, okay, he was losing his form. He was losing his technique. He was just kind of like throwing haymakers, chopping at him, and it didn't work. In my opinion, Bivol looked like he was in condition to fight another 3 or 4 rounds if he had to. So I'm impressed, man. I'm impressed. Like, this wasn't no upset. He went out there and he dominated. Like, he didn't squeak by. He didn't win by a controversial split decision. He went out there and he did what he was supposed to do.
Hey, Doug, what you think?
I gotta say, I'm definitely shocked, and I can agree with most of the points you said, Doug. I didn't foresee this, and I'm gonna just say, Romello, like you called it. You said it's gonna be what I thought it was gonna be, but I didn't see this coming from Canelo. So for one, he kind of reminded me of like Teofimo Lopez in his last fight with George Kambosos, to where he came out just throwing like haymakers, just trying to knock the dude out, which you can't do that with championship boxing. So and to the point, Walt, by the later points of the rounds, like he was fatigued, he was tired, and you never see Canelo get that gas in the fight, because you can't really do that with a high level championship fighter. I take my hats off. He did a great job controlling the range, controlling the distance, hit him with the straight punches he couldn't get in. And when he did get in, he had a good defense. The shell defense worked for him, to where he was able to absorb a lot of the shots to the body, which I didn't see happening. I thought that was going to be his weak spots, kind of coming into the fight. But he did a good job, which I didn't take into consideration previously. So all props to Bivol. I don't want to hear the narrative that he was, I've been hearing a lot of things like he's too small for the division. He beat Kovalev before, so he's used to the 175-pound limit, and I think they're just trying to get him.
He only fought once in that division, though. Canelo.
Yeah. He fought Kovalev twice, right? Or he fought him only once?
Well, he only fought him once, and he was low key. He was struggling in that fight too, until he knocked him out in 11. So, I think 175, in my opinion, is kind of like a bad idea for Canelo, because one thing, he's short too. He got power, but he's short, and everybody in 175 is like tall. So, what I think about it, y'all took all my points, man. The thing I was so impressed with Bivol about his discipline, because if y'all pay attention to the 5th round when Canelo leaving himself open, trying to make sure he come in so he can make that mistake, he said, "No, I'm at my rhythm. My rhythm, there's 3 things you gotta have as a boxer. I mean, and to win a fight, you gotta have the rhythm / pace, and you gotta have the distance." And you got the range. If you got all 3 of them working, it's like 99% you're gonna win that fight. Easy. That's what we saying about Shakur. When he have that distance that he can hit you, but you can't hit him. If you come in like Canelo was, he had the shield up. It was so hard. And he was trying them uppercuts. It just wasn't working because, again, Bivol was in that shield. He was very disciplined. Like, he wasn't reckless at all. He was controlling the fight. Now, the score to me was misleading. I ain't have it 115, 113. I had it.
No, it wasn't that close at all.
Not at all.
Not at all. I had it 8-4, 9-3. 9-3 or 8-4. That's how I had it.
Yeah.
For Bivol, whatever. And Mike Tyson said a good point. Again, he was throwing haymakers, trying to knock him out. But Tyson was like, Canelo is very good when he slip punches. He wasn't slipping punches. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? He should slip and start jabbing him. Like, slip the punch, jab him. Slip a punch, jab him. That gets you open. If you get him open like that, then you can go after the haymakers, the uppercuts, and all that. He was just going in. And Antoine, you brought up a good point. It did remind me of when Teofimo fought George Kambosos. It did remind me of that. He was just going in, not disciplined at all, and just trying to knock him out. And it wasn't going to work this time. So,
Max, sit down.
Yeah, and also, there's 2. Y'all said it already. I never seen Canelo this gas. I never seen it. Probably the Floyd fight that comes to mind, but does it shatter his star power and boxing and his cachet in it? No, it doesn't. He just went up to a weight that he only fought once in, and he don't have familiarity with it. And the guys is bigger than him. It's a tough challenge, but you know what I'm saying? It wasn't going to be a great outcome. If he did beat him, it would be a greater outcome. It's no shame to lose to somebody bigger than you. Now, it's rumored that Bivol going to 168 in Canelo's territory. I think it's a bad idea because I think in 168, Canelo's king. That's just my opinion on that. And you got all the Canelo haters saying, well, he's dodging Charlo, he's dodging Benavidez, he's dodging Demetrius Andre, he's dodging everybody. And I'm like, he will watch all 3 of them, in my opinion. In my opinion. So, but speaking on that, what you think is next for Canelo? I'm gonna start with you, Antoine.
Oh man, this is gonna be tough. I think that, I would like to see him rematch Bivol, just because I don't see anything wrong with taking a loss in the first place. So you're gonna win some, you're gonna lose some fights, which is gonna happen. Like Manny Pacquiao was still great, even though he lost, I think 7 times. I think there's the way you lose. It tells a lot. So I think that the way you lost to Floyd and the way you lost to Bivol, like you got destroyed in kind of both of these fights. You have to lose some cachet. So I would like to see him rematch Bivol. I like to your point. I don't think he should move to 168 because you're going to lose some muscle and lose lose your edge over Canelo, because Canelo is great at that weight. We've seen him in the past. He's going to move a lot faster. He's probably going to go to game plan for the fight, but I got to see him take Bivol next, because if he doesn't, I just think it tarnishes his legacy a lot, a whole lot.
That's interesting. What you think?
Well, I think the rematch with Bivol is going to be hard because Bivol already stated he wants to respect. This time around, he wants to be the A side, and all truthfulness, look, he got the right to. I mean, listen, Canelo or not, if I step in the ring with you and I wash you, you the one that want the rematch. But then I've also heard so far today out of Canelo's camp that Canelo said numerous times, actually in the post conference presser, that he felt more comfortable at 168, and that at 175 he felt that was the reason he got gassed out late in the fight. He didn't really feel comfortable at 175. So I mean, the Golovkin fight is still on the table, I guess. But we heard Eubanks of today. Eubanks could step into that role and fight Triple G. We don't know if the cachet and the one is really still there for a third Triple G fight. And I think Canelo running the risk. If he steps back in the ring with Bivol, I don't see nothing changing. Now, Bivol's in his prime. They both 31 years old. Bivol, he washed out Canelo in his prime. What other reason does he have to fight Canelo again, other than risking an upset? And I mean, Bivol also stated he did want to unify at light heavyweight, so he could just take a few months off, wait on Joe Smith and Biev. I think it's Biev. He could wait on the winner of that and just wash whoever comes out of that and just unify at light heavyweight.
Well, Bivol already beat Joe Smith Jr. and that was a good fight too. And Joe Smith won too. But again, that's what comes to his discipline with Bivol. That's his strong suit. He's very disciplined for his style. And I don't see changes either in the now. Okay, I would say this. I see where you're coming from when you say you don't see really changes on that fight, but Canelo do get smarter after a loss. I mean, we already know we lost to Floyd. It kind of rejuvenated it kind of rejuvenated him. He wasn't
fight Floyd again though.
Yeah,
he ain't fighting him again though.
No, he ain't fighting him again, but he did gain a gift. You know what I'm saying?
He did.
Ain't no shame in that. So, and truthfully, ain't no shame to lose with Bivol too. I knew who he was. Everybody say he's a no name. He's this. He's a WBA champion first, and secondly, he's number one, arguably number one or two in the light heavyweight division. It's him or Better BF. It's one or the other. So, yes, this dude's not a no name. Is he a name like Canelo and all the usual suspects fighters that we always talk about? No, he's not that. He's trying to get to that. Now he beat Canelo. Yes, he's in the room now. He's in the room. So, he beat him again. That's gonna really brighten his stardom. So, again, I think Canelo should fight Bivol again. I think he should, but I don't want to see another Triple G fight. I don't.
I don't either. That's why I was gonna ask you, like, do you think there's really any chance now that he fights Benavidez at any point in time? Because I think what we saw Saturday night from Bivol, Benavidez is taller than Bivol. I think he's got the reach advantage on Bivol. Now, he's a completely different type of fighter than Bivol is. Benavidez will try to get in there and kind of brawl with Canelo. I still think Canelo will have issues with Benavidez because Benavidez, his hands are so quick now. He's nowhere near the defensive fighter that Bivol is. So if Canelo was to take down Benavidez, I think that'll be the major flaw. But the thing is, getting inside on Benavidez, you taking a lot of risk. coming inside. Like Benavidez, them hands is fast. He's good with the hooks. He's good with the uppercuts. He's good with the jab.
Yeah, he got power. I agree with that. He does have power, but Canelo has a chin. He has a chin, and he has defense. People sleep on Canelo's defense. Yeah, even though it was. Now, don't get me wrong. Bivol misses shots too, because Canelo's defense is good with his head movement and all that. But he caught most of them though too. But Canelo's defense is under. And first off, Benavidez's defense to me is not good. It's not good. Yeah, it's not good. So going there with Canelo with no defense, good luck on that. Good luck with that.
Somebody gonna fall. In that fight, somebody gonna fall.
Canelo got a chance. Is that who?
I said it might be both of them. Like Benavidez, he doesn't move his feet a lot. Like I mean, that's gonna be perfectly, a perfect specimen for Canelo. People who don't really move a lot, are all in Canelo's wheelhouse. So he got a good chin. He go take some of those shots, and he go, like I said, he has really, really good defense. Unlike Benavidez. Benavidez is strong. I think it's stronger than him, but it's gonna be tough. If he get inside, I think it's gonna be a good night, and he get gassed too. So.
Now, the only way I can see Canelo and Benavidez fight, he had to fight Charlo. He got to fight like a name like we know, and he got to beat him convincingly too, to get that respect. I mean, y'all know this, man. With people the A side, they looking at you, see what have you done to make me okay to get in the ring with me. I mean, we seen it with Ray Leonard. We seen it with Tyson. We seen it with Floyd. We seen it with Oscar. We seen it with when you're that A side, you call the shots. That's politics. That is politics. So everybody saying Canelo's ducking. No, this is a business too. When is Canelo getting out of this? If he fights them with Charlo or Benavidez, they don't have they don't have the resume to match with him. You know what I'm saying? In their list of fighters who they beaten, who's on Canelo's level or close to Canelo's level? Who?
You can say that about a lot of people though. Same thing with Bivol beat a lot of nice people, but not a lot of household names. I think that I agree. It is a business to your point. Because I think a lot of people avoid Boo Boo and Dredd because he's a great fighter who no one wants to fight just because it's a high risk fight. A problem for you, and you might lose, but it's not worth the money. So
right, there's a lot of fighters out there like that. That's how Benavidez is. People just don't really want to take the risk with Benavidez
and Jamel. So they really haven't really fought anybody. Neither one of them.
Fight each other. Jamel. Yeah, fight each other. That's why at the Smiths fight, they was about to fight in the crowd though, because they want to fight each other. Fight each other. Then if he beat, look, just for instance, if David Benavidez fight Charlo, right, the other Charlo brother, right, if he beat him convincingly, either or, if Charlo beat Benavidez or Benavidez beat Charlo, Canelo gonna have to pay attention today. He does. Now, and they don't fight, and they keep fighting. Like for instance, Benavidez about to fight in 2 weeks in Phoenix. He about to fight David Lemieux, and Triple G and Canelo already watched them already. He's another gatekeeper in that division. So I see his point. He trying to take that fight, but he got to fight names. He got to in order to get Canelo's attention. Well, I want to see the fight myself. I do.
Let me ask y'all this, man. Do you think Canelo and Canelo's camp, and I think a lot of Canelo fans, got overly confident with him washing out Kovalev? Because, it's not Kovalev was pretty much done anyway. He did kind of struggle with Kovalev until he landed that shot. He landed a few shots that round, and that one shot that really took it out. But, like I said, Bivol, that was a major step up from Kovalev. Now, I understand most time when fighters make a step up in weight classes, they go out there, they fight somebody washed up, somebody to help them get their feet wet in that division. So pretty much he got his feet wet with Kovalev. Do you think maybe he should have fought somebody else a little better than Kovalev before stepping right in there with Bivol?
Yes.
Because and I say that because I make the comparison with Mikey Garcia when Mikey moved up to welterweight. Now we seen since Mikey lost to Errol, we seen Mikey beat the brakes off Robert Easter, and he beat the brakes off what's my man name? The 5'11" Mexican that he ended up dropping 3 times.
I know you're talking about.
I'm bringing it up to make the point that Mikey realized I can move up to welterweight and I can fight certain welterweights, but I ain't touching Spence. So maybe there's like I don't think Mikey can touch Crawford either. Like there's certain welterweights I don't think Mikey will be able to match up with. Now there's certain welterweights Mikey can go in there, he can knock out. And I think maybe this is just a situation. Well, he can TKO. Think about how many times he dropped it, but didn't he drop Easter twice?
Yeah. So I mean, that's why I made the comparison. I think maybe, and it happens to everybody. Speaking of Mikey Garcia, I wasn't like impressed with his last fight.
No,
like that. He won it, yeah, but Mikey didn't look the same. Ever since he went up to face Earl, he's not the same like anymore.
He looked too heavy.
He should stay in his place because he went from 135 to 147. He even go to 140. He's went straight to 147. I get it. He wanted that payday. I get that. That's the money division. I get it. But that's a 135 to 147. That's a 12-pound difference. You going up to. So the power, he don't have really power to begin with like that. He's good and all, but you going to 12 pounds? Are you going to 12 pounds up against Spence, a high volume puncher? Spence did he dominated, of course, but he didn't do him like he did Ugas and Danny.
He kind of like Mikey though. He said he kind of took it easy on Mikey. Because Mikey, but I don't know, man. I mean, something kind of smells about Mikey Garcia and that whole situation. It's like, and I didn't want to believe it when it happened, but it kind of felt like he was running from that division at that time. Cause like it's some sharks. It's some sharks in that division. And it seemed like he kind of like, because Mikey ain't really active. Mikey ain't never been that active. Mikey ain't active now. So it kind of seems like, did you just move up to welterweight to just get that payday with Errol and then kind of coast after that? I'll go beat up on some gatekeepers after that. Because ain't nobody really checking for Mikey right now. And Mikey, one of my favorite fighters, but nobody checking for Mikey right now. Mikey was barking about Lomachenko a few weeks ago, but Mikey don't want that right now.
Man, I think I think Mikey still would have been a problem. Like I think 135
for Lomachenko.
I think he would have been a problem for anyone who's there. Like I'm not saying he's gonna win every fight, but I think that he would have been a dangerous fight for anyone in 135. But he has enough power to carry over in that division. Now we went into 147. Like you said, he got some knockdowns and won some fights, but it's a harder division. Like money division where it's gonna be a lot of competition.
I think Mikey Garcia beat Jesse Vargas. I think did he beat Jesse Vargas?
That's who it was. Yeah. Jesse Vargas.
Yeah,
he lost recently. Recently to someone. I forgot who he lost.
Yeah. I know, that's the fight I was talking about. That he didn't look the same. Like I don't know was the training off or something.
Because he looked like he didn't put on the right type of weight when he moved up to 147. He looked wider, and Mikey already got that huge head with no shoulders. So once he started looking wider around here, it's like, come on, bro. Like, but I mean, Mikey got enough power to drop somebody and I think knock somebody out at 135. But at 147, he gonna have problems. He ain't. Listen, he not fighting none of the big dogs at 147.
No, absolutely not. Okay, fellas, it's another fight this weekend, this Saturday, I may add, and it was my fight of the year last year, and this is for the Marvels in 154. We have Brian Castaño versus Jermell Charlo. Prediction time, fellas. I'm gonna start with you, A-Dub. What you got? Who you got, and why?
All right, so it's gonna be a shocker to y'all, but I got to go with Brian Castaño. I think that
they talking to me. I agree with you.
I know we talked about it last time. He got robbed from that last fight. He should have won. I think that the pressure that he brings, to Charlo is going to be still a little bit too much. I think he's going to get him in the ropes. I think he might even get him up out of here like this fight. So I think I'm gonna go with Brian Castano. I'm gonna probably go with like a 10th or 11th round knockout.
What you got?
I'm putting all the pressure on Derrick James. I'm putting all the pressure on Derrick James, man. Listen, man, I refuse to believe that he'll look the same in this second fight as he did against Castano. I don't believe it'll happen this way. I think he'll be more disciplined. He'll be more patient. I think he'll pick his shots more. Now, could that just be me overestimating it? And, overestimating Charlo? Could be, because usually he could get back in the ring and just try to attack him. But I think he's going to fight a better fight, a smarter fight. I think he'll look more conditioned down the stretch. And I think he knows what's at stake. Actually, do we even know what's at stake? Because if he does beat him, what's next for him?
Bud.
I mean,
Bud, huh? He might move up in a weight class away from Bud.
Oh, man, come on now. Bud want awesome.
If you want me, Crawford, find me a cruiser.
Again, as I mentioned before we started the topic, it was my fight of the year last year. It was my favorite fight. I watched that fight multiple times, and it got me the edge of my seat because it was that good. Brian Castano is a pressure fighter, and also Brian Castano, fun fact, he beat Spence in the amateurs. Let's get out the way. But anyway, he beat Bud too. He beat Bud and Spence in the amateurs. Yeah, but that's the amateurs though. But Brian Castano is a pressure fighter. I like what he brings to the table. If Charlo had defense and discipline, I would go with Charlo. I would. I swear to God, I would. Promise you. But he just relies on that power too much, and he's reckless with it. I mean, when it lands, it lands. I give him that. But to me, he just relies on his power too much, and he don't bring nothing to the arsenal with the power. It's not a jab with it. It's not 1-2. It's not a body. It's just like he's trying to go for the kill, and that's I don't know with Brian Castano because he's a pressure fighter. That's what he likes. I think Castano is the more disciplined fighter than Charlo is. I will pick Castano. I'm gonna say a decision this time, and it's gonna be a convincing one too. I don't see no knockouts or knockdowns or something like that. I think it go bang. I think Castano gonna mess it up. Go to the body. He go trying to find his openings for Charlo, but he's easy to hit because again, his defense not good. So him or his brother. So that's my main gripe with them. Yeah, Derrick James is a great trainer. I love him myself, but they just don't have the defense or the what's the word I'm looking for? What's the one I'm looking for? They don't have the
seek and destroy.
Say that again.
The seek and destroy.
I ain't gonna say that. They don't have another weapon when it's neutralized. When the power is neutralized, they don't have another weapon. It's like soon as their power is neutralized, it's like they just in the ring. That's what happened when Charlo was in the ring with Tony Harris. The first fight. And he was losing the second fight to, like I said, Tony Harrison got that wall side windows jar. So, and he got hit and it was murder she wrote. But before that, he was losing that fight twice. You know what I'm saying? The first fight, again, but if you box him, you box the Charlos, you will win. You will have great success. I promise you that.
And I think that, Doug made a really good point like last week and talked about it a little bit this week. I just think that his discipline is not there. Like if he gets rattled or if he gets into like a slugfest, like he's going to try to fight you. And like, right. It's going to be that type of fight. And I know Bud's kind of that way as well, but it's going to be that type of fight for the rest of the fight. And I think that, if he gets into that fight, again, he's going to get put out of there.
Okay. I have to ask y'all this. Me and Walt kind of talked about this, but I had to revisit because I want y'all to really think about this when I'm about to ask you this question. Who is your Mount Rushmore of boxers of all time?
Ooh.
It could be all classes. It could be in any era. It could be anything. You're not going to be discriminated on nothing. It's your Mount Rushmore. It's you. And it goes by legacy, impact, skills, and resume. I mean, that's the same, but still, it goes by those 4 components. I'm gonna start with you. Oh, you look excited. You look excited, AW. You look excited. I'm gonna ask you first. You look very excited. You like, I'm gonna ask you first. Go ahead.
I gotta take Tyson and Fury off the list already because last week y'all had some pushback.
No. It's not heavyweights. It's not heavyweights.
4 fighters.
No,
4 fighters, Chewy. 4 fighters, man.
Any era, any class, Mount Rushmore, any class.
All right. So, but my first pick, I think everybody's first pick is gonna be Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali is to me is the GOAT boxer of all times. Like,
go that way. Gotcha.
Skill, showmanship, had all the fundamentals. The legacy was there. Muhammad Ali is number 1. Woo. Number 2. It's tough. I'm gonna have to go Joe Louis. I didn't know it was until I was a little bit.
Bomber. Ooh, okay. Gotta pick home city, huh? You gotta pick Detroit, right?
The fist is right there. You can just see it.
So right there. I got you.
To get the biggest heart, a lot of power, like a lot of things I like about Joe Louis. I'm not gonna say all the things all I like. Number 3, I'm gonna have to put some respect on my man Floyd Mayweather. I think he changed the game a lot. Now he was 50-0, perfect record. He really didn't duck any smoke as Pretty Boy, and he showed boxers how to get paid. So I can appreciate the impact that he had on the game and the fights that he made. He fought a lot of champions. From De La Hoya to Shane Mosley to everyone else. Whew, number 4, man, this is tough.
I didn't mean to bless you with this question, though. I didn't mean to bless you, though.
Jermaine Taylor.
Jermaine?
Come on, man.
I'm kind of torn. I would say I'm gonna put Roy. Roy is one of my top fighters. Again,
see?
Early Roy. There's early Roy.
Don't worry, Chewy. You know what you're talking about, Chewy.
Okay, no heavyweight Roy. Oh. Just the middleweight when you fought James Toney and others.
Yeah, Toney, that flow, that.
Okay, got you. Okay, I got you. That's fair. Well, I know. Well, you can say it again, but you told me already. But you can say it again, Ward. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I had Roy too. I thought that Roy was revolutionary, man. He was sort of like Randy Moss to the game when Randy came into the NFL. And like nobody saw a boxer with his height, his reach, his hand speed, his athleticism. He had snap and pop in both hands with both hooks and the jab and the straight right. And he had his defense. Well, it wasn't technically sound defense, but his defense was good enough to keep him out of, rough situations. And, he was revolutionary.
He was awesome. He was a awesome.
And, he also did plenty of winning too, Now, of course, I had Manny. When you look at what Manny was able to pull off in 3 different decades, Manny took some bad losses. He had some rough losses, but he ain't duck anybody. And when you don't duck anybody, look how many fights Manny had to. When you don't duck anybody, you'll be hard pressed to find a fighter today that'll fight 65, 70 fights and have no losses. For one, there's too many politics in boxing today for you to make it that far without getting robbed at some point in time. So, also Floyd, not just the fact that Floyd undefeated, the fact that Floyd, he schooled a lot of people that he wasn't supposed to. It was a lot of people that people was picking him to lose against that he got in there, and you can say, oh, he ran. He fought off the back foot. He had plenty of dimensions. Floyd could fight you any way you wanted to fight. And I think it was the fact that Floyd, he'll bang with you when it was on his terms to bang with you. He wasn't about to just stand in the middle of the ring and just bang with you when you felt like banging with him. Mm-hmm. He toyed with you. He toyed with you and he let you have it. And he was the master to me of that check hook. That short check hook was the greatest. He tamed a lot of people with that check hook, man.
Like that shoulder, and they did that. It's very short, but it's powerful. Man. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. It's one of them piss you off check hooks that if you was in the ring with Floyd, he kept snapping that at you like, man, stop playing. Quit it. Cut it out. But pay attention, like Ricky had, like pay attention to a lot of people he hit with that hook. And dudes just got hit with it so many times, they just lost all they cool and just started fighting him the way they started fighting him.
I think he hit Ricky Hatton with it, and he ran to the turnbuckle and knocked him out right there. Then Ricky Hatton came up, Floyd hit him, and his face first at the turnbuckle though, and then went down. That was sweet. That's my favorite punch from him though. Like for real. Like he just, you know what I'm saying, waiting, and he tried to come up, got him real good, and just hit the turnbuckle and fell down, and it was over. All right, who in the next one?
No, of course, Ali.
Okay, yeah. Right.
I ain't got to explain Muhammad.
We don't.
Cassius.
I called him Clay.
Good point. All right. First, actually, except by Ali, none of the guys not in my order. Ali, let's get out the way. Number 2, Sugar Ray Robinson. Sugar Ray Robinson had 174 fights. Well, more than that, actually. He lost 19 times, but he won 175 fights. I mean, do the math. I mean, that's over almost 200 fights. And he had some draws, too. So, yeah, that's steep. And they was going like 39 rounds. It's like crazy. He was like, yeah, crazy. His rivalry with Jake LaMotta, you know, the Raging Bull, when Robert De Niro played him, Jake LaMotta. I mean, that's a good movie, but yeah, that trilogy is crazy. Went to the blood and knockdowns was happening and all that. When they fought at Valentine's Day in 1951 in Chicago, yeah, that was crazy. My father put me on Sugar Ray Robinson. So Sugar Ray Robinson, number 2, and that was Muhammad Ali's influence. You see, he had the trunks like Sugar Ray Robinson, the pizzazz in the ring, and the showmanship in the ring. That was Sugar Ray Robinson in the 40s and 30s and 50s. Y'all get where I'm coming from. Mm-hmm. My third, and I can't believe y'all ain't say this, I will go with Ray Leonard. And I'm gonna say why I'm gonna go with Ray Leonard.
Nice pick.
Sugar Ray Leonard changed the game. First of all, the stuff Floyd was doing, basically promoting himself and all that, Sugar Ray Leonard was doing that in the 80s. He only had his lawyer. The Bob Arum and Don King was coming after him. He wasn't signed under nobody. He was his own brand. He wasn't under Top Rank. He wasn't under Don King. He wasn't under none of those vultures. You know what I'm saying? Because they both vultures. He was his own boss. Like, you know, everybody said Floyd was the first. Actually, it went from Ray Leonard to Oscar to Floyd. It just, you know what I'm saying, it just transcends, you know what I'm saying, from the times. So, and Ray Leonard, I mean, he could bang, he had speed, he won the Olympics, just like Ali did. What else? He beat like almost like the top 20 or top 15 of all time of fighters. I mean, Hagler, even though I thought Hagler won that fight, that's my opinion. It just depends on your boxing eye, how you judge it. I mean, he beat Tommy, he beat Duran, he beat Wilfred Benitez, he beat a lot of. he was the 80s of boxing. Just put it like that. And my last but not least is Mike Tyson. Y'all got to put Mike Tyson in there. Now, he lost all big fights, Holyfield, limits, and all that. He did. I commend y'all. I mean, I commend that. He did lose the big fights, but his impact was crazy. Yeah. And impact today is still crazy. Everybody knows who Mike Tyson is. Kids know who Mike Tyson is. And that's crazy. He put on boxing gloves. Well, he put on boxing gloves recently against Roy Jones. That was some BS. But in a real professional fight in almost 20, 30 years. That's kind of like on the Michael Jordan type thing. Like, people still wear his shoes, and it came out when we all was in middle school and high school and elementary or whatever, and they still fighting over those same shoes, the same recycled shoes. That's how Mike Tyson's stature is as far as impact goes as an entertainer. Because remember, boxing is a sport. Boxing is a sport, but also it's an entertainment. That's what I'm saying. So those
I can't argue with that, man.
I can't. Yeah, those are my top 4 Mount Rushmores. Okay, we'll go to a bonus one, then we'll go be out the door. Okay, we kind of spoke on this a little bit. George Kambosos Jr. versus Devin Haney, June 4th. Ooh. For all the marbles, Undisputed, lightweight 135. Talk to me. Predictions.
Man, I don't know. I don't. Hey, I'm gonna pull my Martin. Man, I don't know. I don't know, man. Okay, it's hard, man, for me to say, man. Like Devin think he a puncher, man. Like Devin want to be claimed as a puncher so bad, and Devin to get in there and try to bang with you a little bit.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. Kambosos, man. I like how he fought against Teofimo. I liked it a lot, man. I liked it. I think it's a must-win for Devin. Like if this is Devin's time, the way he says his time, because ain't nobody really trying to fight Devin either. But Devin needs to get out of that fight with a victory. I think he really needs to.
Antoine, what you got?
He does. I mean, I agree with what you're saying. I love Kambosos and what he did with Teofimo Lopez. He showed a lot of heart, a lot of grit. A lot of, now he's showing it, showing his stripes as the champion. I think that Devin Haney is just as long as he doesn't get into that mode where he's trying to knock you out. I think he's a great technician, like a great boxer. And I just think that his skill for skill set, that Kambosos is not going to be able to hold weight to it. I like Kambosos as a fighter. But I think that Devin Haney just has a little more skill, a lot more polish. And as long as he's not trying to knock you out, he's probably going to win like a comfortable decision, probably like 8-4.
8-4? Woo! This is going to be a closer fight than anticipated. Okay. Styles make fights. I mean, Devin Haney, it's something I can't really explain it. Like, something is off with Devin Haney. He can box, and I agree with you on that. He can box. He's a good technician, but it's something missing. I don't know. I think it's killer instinct. I don't know what it is. Like,
you seen him with his bell rung a few times.
Yeah, against Linares. You know what I'm saying? He did get his bell rocked. Trust me. But he persevered and he won that fight. I gave him kudos on that because he got rocked pretty bad by Linares. So, George Kambosos against Teofimo, that was like a perfect fight. He definitely has power. And he has a because he was taking some licks for Teofimo, but Teofimo was basically out of character. Now, to Antoine's point, if Devin Haney is in his character and don't try to break character, you know what I'm saying? Try to go for the knockout and then he gets reckless with it. He's not polishing that. He's polished in as a boxer, as a technician, working the jab, working the distance, working the rhythm. You know what I'm saying? That's what he's great at. But when he breaks character, as far as like be the puncher, the reckless person like that, he will lose. That's how he did with Linares at his last fight, even though he won that fight, but still. if I had to pick a winner, this is tough, man. And I like what both persons. I like what both people bring. I like Haney with the boxing, and I like Kambosos with the pressure.
Mm-hmm.
With the pressure, and he got a chin with the pressure too, and that's a plus. I'm gonna go with a shocker. I'm gonna go with Kambosos. Get it? It's split decision.
Right.
At first, I was discussing with my brother and my homeboy. I said a draw. That's rare. It's a rare decision. I know. I get it, but I thought long and hard about it. I think Kambosos got this in the split decision.
Yeah, I think Devin got to establish just a little bit of pop just to get his respect. As long as he can establish that get a little bit of pop to establish that respect, I think he can. I can agree. I can hear what you're saying. I think he can establish that distance and win the fight. But I think it can be close though, because, like you said, something does seem like it's off. Like something like, I think if he gets touched too hard, I think he's going to go down. But that's often though. So
yeah,
I mean, I think a big issue is that we haven't really seen Devin. When's the last time we seen Devin really be in a dogfight? For like start to finish. Like we've seen Devin in some fights where he dominated, but took a shot here and there that may have rung his bell or whatnot. But we've seen Devin clean out a lot of people.
He did.
We haven't really seen Devin. When was the last time we seen Devin in a dogfight for 12 rounds? And that's what kind of scares me is that
I'm gonna say Linares. When Linares hit him like him.
Like Linares, but he another gatekeeper. But Linares will test you. He'll test you.
That's pretty good though. I mean, I gave Hayden to win. I gave him to him, but
I don't think he would have. I never thought he was gonna beat Devin though. I thought he was a good test for Devin coming up.
Okay. He got Lomachenko too, though, right? Like,
yeah, he tests Lomachenko too.
He got him. I can respect that he didn't get dropped by the punch. Like Lomachenko got dropped, but it's gonna be a tough fight. It's gonna be a tough fight. I honestly, in my honest opinion, I think that he's gonna win. I think they're trying to line him up for Shakur Stevenson. Like I think they're.
Oh, you think it's gonna be some crookedness going on in the world, man?
I think
Shakur need to come up though. Nobody wants to understand him, dog. He need to come. Y'all know we just explained that it's some sharks in 135. I mean, Ryan Garcia. We got Kambosos. We got
man.
We got Katie. We got you know what I'm saying.
But that's a problem. I think
we got Tank.
We discussed that about Shakur. Like, there's some dudes moving up in that division with pop. Like Ryan can crack.
Yeah, he's fast.
There's some dudes in that division can crack. And if Ryan is, none of us believe Ryan Head is on straight. But I'm gonna keep saying this: if Ryan Head is on completely straight, if the Ryan Garcia we saw a few weeks ago was the Ryan Garcia we can consistently see, dude's in trouble at 135.
I don't know, man. Shakur, like I said, Shakur, if he moves to 135, it's that young man is special to me, man. Like, he's boring because he's good. He's that damn good, like for real. Like again, because you can't hit him. Like if he break character a little bit from him, I mean, yeah, he get you excited a little bit, but then he go back to his shield, back to his character where he got that distance, he got that range, and you can't hit him. You know what I'm saying? And he's great on defense. So that's why I'm saying, like, Shakur, it might dominate that 135 too. Now, if people do got pop, I agree with you on that. Like, Kambosos got pop. Garcia is fast with pop. Yeah, I got you. But I don't know if they could break the code of the defense of Shakur. I don't know. We would have to see on that.
The only thing first I think that has a chance, I mean, with Shakur, I think it's going to be Tank because I think Tank is athletic. Tank got pop, and he's quick and with quick hands. So like, and he's a southpaw. So like, he's going to take away that advantage. Like, I think it's the only person that I feel like that's going to be able to even get close to Shakur at 135. Now, if he moves up, I see something different. But at 135, I think. I don't really see a lot of people, unless they catch him clean. I don't see a lot of people catching him clean like that outside of Tank.
Tank is I like what Tank brings. Like, he definitely has power. Like, let's get that out of the way. He definitely has power. And he's quick, he's fast, and he can box when he wants to. So it's just with Tank, man. That last fight I wasn't impressed with. Even though he beat Pitbull Cruz, but he did get hurt. He did. But I still wasn't impressed. And he's a slow starter too. He started kind of slow a little bit, but he picks it up when he finds his rhythm. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if that's gonna work with Shakur, because Shakur is not like a fast or slow starter. It's like he goes in, his rhythm is found immediately, because he doesn't be overly aggressive. He doesn't be like running, using the whole square circle either. It's like he goes in, he know where his rhythm is, like, immediately. So it's not, again, it's not fast, it's not slow. It's like a gift he has.
Yeah, so, he sets his rhythm for his fight. Like, immediately. No matter what kind of fight you're trying to fight, it's his fight.
Exactly. It's like I've never seen Shakur, even though he don't have many fights. But I never seen him like he in a dog fight or just banging. He's not like that. It's more like his pace. It's his speed. It's definitely his speed. So
yeah, I mean, he has outstanding focus.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's a huge key. He doesn't have many mental lapses through fights. With most fighters, you can pinpoint 3, 4, 5 instances throughout the fight where they kind of lost some focus, let some shots in they knew they didn't have any business letting in. You don't really see that from Shakur.
Mm-hmm.
But sure. I mean, listen, if he steps up to that division, man, Ryan, a tall dude with reach, very fast. He looked bigger. He also looked bigger in that last fight too. His footwork looked a lot better. He wasn't the same stationary guy he always was prior to joining Canelo's camp, and then he eventually bailed on Canelo's camp also. But I think Ryan's super talented, man. He's super talented, and if he put it all together, dude's in trouble. Now the question is, will he ever put it all together?
I mean, against the competition, I think he will. He must. That's a must. So yeah, that's a must. He has to put it all together for us, Tank and all the names that we saying. But yeah, Ryan. Speaking of Ryan Garcia, his last fight was very impressive. Like his fight before this one, I wasn't impressed, but this fight that he just had not long ago, I was very impressed. Like with the speed, he's messing it up. He dominated that fight.
He looked like he was in the best shape of his life. Like physically, that was the best I ever seen Ryan look. So
yeah,
he was in good shape, but I wasn't really impressed by that last fight, honestly. Just because
you crazy, Joey.
Oh,
you crazy.
Two things, and I'm sorry, I don't want to keep y'all on the phone, but two things with Ryan Garcia for me. Like for that in that last fight, like he should have got that dude up out of there, bro. He didn't cut out the ring enough. With these nimble fighters that he's gonna be fighting, it's gonna be a problem for Ryan. And two, he doesn't move his head enough, bro. Like his head is always right in the center of the ring. Even though he's throwing punches, he's gonna get knocked out by somebody. Like, even like by Tank or somebody with enough pop to get him up out of there, bro. Like even Kambosos, I think Kambosos was getting him up out of there. He did good. He did better. Great physically, but he didn't cut off the rein for that guy. He kept the fight going, and he was getting hit too by punches he should have dodged. Like, it was crazy.
What do you think about that?
I mean, I think Ryan in that fight, he was more seek and destroy in that fight. He wanted to show, everybody, I'm back. This is what I can do. But he's still there. Ain't nobody really breaking their neck to fight him. And I think, and if you look at that division, man, it'll be a travesty if these great fighters at the ages that they all at don't fight each other.
They all young too.
They all young.
There's no excuse for y'all dudes to not be fighting each other. Except unless everybody want to protect that zero. And I think that most of the time that's what it is. And it don't be the fighters, because I don't believe any of these guys got any coward in their blood at all. It be the guys, it be everybody in their camps inside their ears telling them, no, I don't think you really want Tank right now. Wait Tank out another 2 years. Or no, I don't think you want to fight Teo right now or Shakur. Wait another 3 fights. Let's see how Teo look his next couple fights. It's too much of that bullshit going on, man.
You're right. That takes away from the competitiveness, you know what I'm saying, of that. When you're in the top 10, top 5, whatever, people are protecting that 0, and I'm sorry, the blame is for Floyd on that one to me, man. Like, because he put that in the full front so much. Like, I never lost, 50 men tried and they failed and all that. Everybody wanna, okay, I'm gonna protect that 0. You still could be a GOAT or a legend or Hall of Famer with a loss. You still can. Because speaking on this, Canelo is a Hall of Famer already. He just happened to keep fighting, you know what I'm saying, with his resume. I mean, Pacquiao, Hall of Famer. I mean, Ali, he lost 5 times. I mean, come on. I mean, it's no shame of losing. It's part of the game. You lose in every sport. So Mayweather just didn't lose at all. So if we go back in history, I think he lost the first Castillo fight, won. But we ain't gonna get into that. But again, ain't nothing wrong with losing. That's why when we talk about losing now with the Canelo thing, it's no shame. He only lost 2 times in his career, and he had over 60.
But I think it's just sports fans in general nowadays, man. We make a big deal about perfection. Like, if you're not perfect, you ain't nothing, and that's not the case. Like, fighters lose fights. Yeah. Teams make it to Super Bowls and they lose Super Bowls and they go back and they win again. Like, there's no shame in losing, but today is just all about, oh, you ain't nothing because you got a 1 loss on your record. Like, that's not the case. You can still be better than some. I always felt in boxing, you can be better than somebody with a lesser record. I've always felt that way.
Agreed.
I agree.
I think most of we talked about on our top 5s, like a lot of people in our top 5s had multiple losses. They were all great fighters with multiple losses. Like, it works out that way. So I agree for sure.
Okay, before we shake out, right? Speaking on this, what fighter not named Joe Frazier gave Ali the most trouble?
I think for me, I don't know. It was some dudes that gave him some problems.
I'll tell you who, and I don't even like this fighter either, but the dude that gave Ali the most trouble because of his style alone was Ken Norton. Ken Norton gave Ali the most problems because, first of all, he come with that crab style. Like, he's hard to hit because he coming like this. You know what I'm saying? He keep coming like that, and it's like a crab style. You know what I'm saying? And Ali's a boxer. He's a mover. He can't, especially because they fought 3 times. I thought he lost to him. In my opinion, he lost to him the 3rd fight, but they gave it to Ali anyway. But again, Ken Norton beat him the 1st fight in a close fashion. The 2nd fight, Ali won in a close fashion. It could have went either way. And in the 3rd fight, I thought Ken Norton beat Ali, and I love Ali. We all love Ali, but still, that was the only man not named Joe Frazier that gave Ali the most problems. And everybody know he's lesser than Ali. Let's get that out.
He's lesser. You're lesser.
Yeah, he's less than Ali, but to your point, you know what I'm saying, you could be lesser and be great, you know what I'm saying? If that makes sense. So, you know. All right, fellas, I ain't gonna keep y'all too long. This is another episode of Undisputed Spit. I'm Romello Skuggs, who's signing off. Antoine Williams and Walt Stringer. Check them out, Goats and Rings. Stream that today. And we out. 1.
Peace.
And this is Undisputed Spit. You dig?
I'd buy that for $1.